Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 25. The image of their gods you are to burn in the fire. Do not covet the silver and gold on them. And do not take it for yourself, or you will be ensnared by it, for it is detestable to the Lord your God. There are certain items that we have bought with our own monies. Some of them came our way by way of gifts. But when those things came to us, there are other responsibilities those things are also doing in our lives. I will bring your mind to something. Some of you may have received some gifts from some friends and maybe families that when you received the gift, since you got those gifts, life never became the same. Everything changed. That is the thing we are talking about today. Some of them, we even bought them ourselves. Today, we are going to find out some of the things that when you have them in your possession, you need to find a way of dealing with them. You don't need them around you. You don't need them around you. No, especially being a child of God, being a believer, being a Christian. You don't need these things around you. There is a man that will give you a testimony of his thing. This man we are talking about is not an African. He's not an African. He is a white man. But then, I'm mentioning white man not in a racial sense, but to let you understand that things that you believe only happens in certain parts of the world, you believe happens only in Africa, they do happen everywhere. Trust me, they are happening everywhere. And so don't ever assume that it is only in Africa that these things are happening. We are coming into the program in a second. Enjoy this.
Going back to the end of the 1960s, when I was living in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with my first wife, Lydia, I had inherited from my maternal grandfather various pieces of art and culture. Among them were 4 gorgeous embroidered dragons, each one on a separate piece of material. And I mean, the colors were gorgeous. And I really was very close to my grandfather, so these meant a lot to me. So when we set up house in Fort Lauderdale, I had these 4 dragons framed on our living room wall. But after a while, the Holy Spirit began to trouble me.
Okay, viewers, you can understand what the man is talking about. He inherited these gorgeous cloth from his parents. This is not from outside, from his own parents. And when he received these items, let's listen to what happened. It's very short, and then from there we will tell you some few other items that will blow your mind. Listen to this.
The Holy Spirit would say to me, now in the Bible, what does the dragon represent? Well, I knew the Bible well enough to be able to know the answer to that. The dragon represents the devil. Very clearly, Revelation chapter 12, verse 9, and so on.
Okay, viewers, so you know what Revelation says about the dragon. About the dragon. So he's talking about what Revelation says. So it reads, so the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil, and Satan, who deceived the whole world. He was cast to the earth. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So this is what informed him. Bible says, for lack of knowledge, my people perish. So if he didn't know this, what would have happened? Now listen to what happened to this man.
Well, then he would say to me, is it appropriate for you as a servant of Christ to have on the wall of your living room something that advertises the devil?
Okay, so this is a key fact here he's putting across. Is it okay that as a child of God, you will advertise or you exhibit something that symbolizes the devil, that symbolizes something that is anti-Christianity, something that is not pro-Christianity, but something that goes against Christianity? Is it okay to do that? Now let's see what happened to him. His outcome is amazing. Listen to this and let's get what he's trying to put across.
Well, I struggled with this for a little while, and I said, all right, God, you win, I'll get rid of the dragons, and I did. Now, I didn't do that with any motive except obedience to God.
Okay, so he got rid of those items from his house, and he didn't do that with any other motive, but just to obey the purpose of God, the plans of God, the will of God. So whenever we have the will of God as our number one priority, that becomes the focus, the core principle, the main reason why we do what we do. You get what I mean? That becomes our main reason why we do what we do. And that is how God blesses us, because the mindset is not for our gains, but is then to his glory. The purpose of the understanding in what we do is what God assesses. So listen to what happened to this man in the end. What did he benefit from what he did? He threw away the thing he inherited from his parents. But one sensitive thing here we should know is that he observed that when the thing came into his house, things were never good again. Bible says that the children of Issachar, there's something about that. We will talk about that. But you need to understand that we have to be able to examine and know what the times and seasons are bringing to us. What things happens and what happened next. We need to be very observant, because things don't just happen.
But the results were quite remarkable. Up to that time, I had been just getting by financially. I traveled and preached and received honorariums, and they covered our needs, but we had no real surplus. Also, there were certain strange things happening, even in my family. I was finding it.
Okay, people understand this. The man that is talking is a preacher. He's an international evangelist that preaches around the world. So these things have no respect for who your title, or for what your title is. When something is in your possession and it is a demonic item, and it is possessed and it lives with you in your house, remember that it has no respect for your level of spirituality. It has come to achieve a purpose, and it will do anything to make sure that purpose is achieved. So let's not feel so over spiritual, and let us understand that everything we are doing, we really understand, and we are acting according to the word of God. So this is what is bringing us to the items we are buying over the counter. But let's listen to what changed when he obeyed this intuition, when this wisdom that God gave him.
Difficult to communicate with my wife. And then I was entitled to an inheritance from my parents, a very substantial sum of money. But the results were quite remarkable. Up to that time, I had been just getting by financially. I traveled and preached and received honorariums, and they covered our needs, but we had no real surplus. Also, there were certain strange things happening, even in my family. I was finding it difficult to communicate with my wife.
Okay, this is where I want us to pay particular attention. He was finding very tough time communicating with his wife. Families, Christian families, and even every other person that is alive, if you are married. There are things that are happening in our homes. These things have caused a lot of divorces. If you can confirm to some of these things, please let us know. Such things have been the cause of a lot of marital breakups, and it has affected a lot of children and a lot of destinies. Why? Because somebody has introduced an item in the house, and that item has something in it that is causing something else to happen to the family. Since that thing happened, one, it could be a friend, human being. He's not going to say anything, but the spirit he carries is enough to destroy your peace in your home. It may be something you bought in a shop. It may be something that someone gave you, a gift that came into your house, and it comes and everything good about you do not look good any longer. We need to be very sensitive to such things and understand that there are things that come our way and they have purposes. Listen to this.
And then I was entitled to an inheritance from my parents, a very substantial sum of money. And because of various irresponsible acts by other people, the inheritance was interminably held up. Now, I just got rid of the dragons, but I began to realize that my whole level of prosperity had changed.
Wow.
I didn't do anything different, but the next year my income doubled without my making.
Okay, viewers, so you see what he's talking about. He did nothing. He did not do anything major. His prayer life is consistent. It's the same. His life is, everything is sorted. Same as he's always done. But the only different thing he did in his house was to take away the substance that was a stranger. The thing that carried the spiritual, became like a spiritual demonic altar that lived with him in his house. He took it out of the house, and that made the change. There are certain things you need to get rid of. We will get to some of them right now, and you will see. Let's listen to
Any
this.
changes. Then I received the inheritance. It was released. And my first wife and I were able to purchase a house. Now, I'm not just preaching prosperity, because I think that has to be very carefully qualified. But prosperity with a purpose. We moved into that house. We lived in it for 9 years, and we sold it for more than 3 times what we paid for it. Now, that was not something we had planned. I didn't have any conscious intention, but I realized that a dark, evil force had invaded my home through those dragons. And until that force was expelled and dealt with, I could not go on in the fullness of God's plan for my life and ministry.
Wow.
And one interesting thing was, I didn't even know what God had for me that I was being kept from. See, I've seen this is true in many people's lives. When people are dealing with a curse, they don't know what it would be like to be free from the curse. They can't picture it. All right, now I want to deal out of Scripture with the forms that blessings and curses take. There is one particular chapter in the Old Testament which deals exclusively with blessings and curses. How many of you know which it is? Deuteronomy chapter 28. All right. It's got 14 verses of blessings and 54 verses of curses. Now, we can't go into that because of time. Here is my summation of the main blessings and the main curses. As a matter of fact, really, they're exactly opposite to one another. So here are 7 blessings. Number 1, exaltation. Means being lifted up. You're no longer living under things. Number 2, a word I had to coin, reproductiveness. I couldn't find one normal English word, but a person who's in the blessing of God is fruitful in every area of his life or her life. Number 3, health. Number 4, prosperity or success. And I want to be careful how I say this. I don't think that poverty, for a short period, it may be a test that God is putting us through. But if you're always short, if you never have enough, if you're always scraping, I think you're very probably under a curse. Then the next one is what they call accident prone. In other words, you're one of the people who always has an accident.
Okay, so viewers, let's look at this very well. You see, all he did was he took out the substance that was a stranger in his house. And when that thing left his house, everything began to work out properly. Everything began to work in accordance, to what he needed to do. Everything was working all right. Now I'm going to show you these logos, and then you will understand whether you have bought anything like that in your life, or if you haven't bought something like that. These are items that we find in the shops, and there are some designs that we don't understand what they are. To him, it was a gift from his parents, and it was demonically possessed. So what happens is that thing that has a spirit in it becomes an altar. Demons come into that house through that item because it is what they connect to, and they get into your house. Now look at this thing. Have you seen this logo before? And then I'll try and explain something to you. They look very similar to some other things that we have in the shops. Okay, look at this. Look at this. I believe you've seen this before. Whenever you have something like this in your house, you are getting into trouble. It looks like just a simple drawing, but it's not just a simple drawing. There is more to it than just being drawing. Now let us read what is written under it, and we will see whether it is just a drawing. Okay, please, if you have joined us, we appreciate it if you can share the link with your friends. Just share it and then comment. Let us know what you know about this thing and what you think about what we are doing. We will appreciate that if you can share this. Now, look at this and read with me. It says we have pentacles and pentagrams. So the left one is a pentacle. It says it's a unicursal 5-point star set within a circle. We have a star. A star is something, I mean, most countries have stars in their logos, and don't get me wrong, we are not talking about that, even though we can delve into those ones later on. Now we are looking at this, the unicircle 5-point star as within a circle. The first one is within a circle, then it's called pentacle. If it is inside the circle, it's called pentacle. And look at the next point. The 5-point signifies the 5 elements, and the circle represents balance and harmony. Last point, inverted pentacles represent Satanism and the occult. Okay, it represents Satanism and the occult. That is the one, the pentacle, the one, the star with a circle around it. It represents Satanism and the occults. Okay, so if you have bought any item and it's got this with you, you have to understand that it is a platform, or it is the contact point that the demons use to reach out to places. When people want to invoke them, they use some of these items. So if it is in your possession, and as we read in the Bible, the verse that we just read, it means that you don't need to have things that promote Satanism, promote witchcraft, demonism in your home, because you attract what you don't want. You buy something that belongs to them into your house, and then when you go out of your house, you are going to pray against them. Think about it. Think about it, and you will see that this thing we are talking about is very serious. Now let's look at what a pentagram is. We just did pentacle and pentagram. It's also a unicircle 5-pointed star. The 5 points assigned signifies the 5 elements. They are both talking about elements. So we will look at what the elements could be. Okay, I'll show you something about the elements very soon. And then the upright pentagon represents protection. You see that in the logos of most of our countries, the flags, you see that the star has got the pointed tip at the top. But this one is the star flipped upside down. When the circle is around it, it's for Satanism and the occult on the left. And then when you see the star, just as the star in your country's flag, flipped upside down, and it is not shaded in full color. You can see the lines that they used to draw the star over there. This is called pentagram. And let's see what the pentagram represents and who uses them. I've seen it in a lot of the shirts that we are buying from the shops. And I've seen many people wear them. Some people, you can see they are wearing them out of ignorance, have no clue what they are wearing. Look at this. I'll show you a few of the products online that we are ordering. I'll show you very soon, and then you can have a very good idea of what we are talking about. So the last point on the right, the pentagram, it says inverted pentagram represents Satanism and the occult. Okay, so both of them are representing Satanism and the occult. Both the pentacle and the pentagram, they are representing Satanism or the occult. As you can see at the bottom, is there. You may have met this everywhere. You've seen it all over and over again, but you may not have noticed it. They've printed them in a lot of the shirts, sometimes in the form of logo around, and it's a whole lot of things that we are seeing around the world in our time, that in this time that we live in, trust me, nothing is just ordinary. I tell you, nothing is just ordinary. Everything is extraordinary. So I encourage you to understand that whatever you are buying from the shops, don't just pick anything because the design is cool. pick something you purposefully know you understand, especially when the language is something scribbled and you have no clue what that is doing. I encourage you to think about these things very, very well. Okay, now let me show you what the elements they spoke about are. They spoke about the 5 elements. Now, look here. Do you see this thing down here? Okay. All right, I think this should do. This should do. It says the pentagram is a 5-pointed star with its lines often interlaced and enclosed with a circle. It's a symbol of protection. The top star of the star represents the true spirit of the goddess. The goddess. There is a goddess that we need to also explain things about. There is a goddess. Okay. It's not about God. It's a goddess. A goddess is a princess, a spirit. Now let's look at the 5. Let's read at the bottom first. Now go through. It says the other 4 points represent the elements of creation. That's earth, air, fire, and water. The star as a whole symbolizes the spirit bringing the elements into natural harmony. The circle symbolizes infinity, sealing the protection. Now look at what you see there. So we've got the air, we've got the spirit, we've got the water, we've got the earth, we've got the fire. So there's a reason why the top is called spirit. A very good reason why they've made the top bit called the spirit. So if that top bit is called the spirit, so it means that is the head. And in the middle, it says the island witch. The mediocre island witch. That is the center. The mediocre island witch. That is in the middle of the star that we are looking at right now. So people, I want us to understand that the reason why we are doing this is to create the awareness for the children of God to know that whenever we are buying anything from the shops, whatever item we pick, okay, we should understand that we are picking something strategically. We are not just going to the shop and say, hey, this is nice, this is this is that. There is another logo, very popular logo that people are buying the brand so much. Maybe I'll show you the logo very soon and you will tell what it is. Very popular. Okay, and what is happening is that popular, if you remember back in the days, I hope you understand the elements so I can move on. Okay, so there was something that we used to watch, a movie. We used to call it The Head of Medusa. The Head of Medusa is in one of the logos of the most popular products we are buying, and it's one of the biggest brands. And the Medusa is a myth. It's a myth that I think we'll go into that very soon before we finish this program. But as you've seen this logo, now I'm going to show you a very popular product that came out, and that one, the person came out boldly to tell you what he has done with the product. Remember, this is Kingdom Updates. We are dealing with closing all bad spiritual doors, because all these items, when they are in your house, they open spiritual doors for demons and spirits that work with them to come into your house, and they affect our lives, and we end up praying unnecessary prayers and we never get results. Now let's look at what this other item has got to offer. All right, we're gonna do this very soon. Okay. Ready? Beautiful. So I will show you this item. You see, we are saying that please watch the video all the way through before commenting. Thank you for continued support. I love you all. But we may not be able to get to the very end, but just listen to this. Watch this. Just watch what you're gonna see. Watch it.
So, if you guys saw the last video I posted, it was about the Lil Nas X Mischief Satan shoes. It's one of the most controversial shoes of all time. The shoe that...
So it is called the Lil Nas's evil shoes. It is an evil shoe. He made the shoe. He went through a company. You can see the tick, and when you see the tick, when you see a tick on a shoe, you know who that is coming from. Okay, so this guy is the person that is dealing with this product, and I tell you, look at that. All right, let me just leave it for you to see it in full. Okay, watch this.
That has a drop of human blood inside.
I don't know if you are hearing what I'm hearing. It has got a drop of human blood. Okay, I'll let it flow a little bit so that you will get it from the horse's own mouth. All right, I will stop the interruption. Listen.
Human blood inside. And as you guys might know, Mischief sent these shoes out to me to film a video. Drop of human blood inside. And as you guys might the Lil Nas X Mischief Satan shoes. It's one of the most controversial shoes of all time. The shoe that has a drop of human blood inside. And as you guys might know, Mischief sent these shoes out to me to film a video. And well, ever since they've been in my house, it's been nothing but bad news. Just from the start of me posting the video and reviewing the shoes on my channel, I've lost thousands of followers just because I showed the shoe. And at this point, I just feel like there's nothing good that comes from this. I even tried to make it clear that I am not a Satan worshiper, and I do not like the devil in any way, shape, or form. Now you guys were curious on what I was going to do with these shoes, and I think it's about time.
Okay. Oops, I think I have to show you something. I can't let it slide. Good. Okay. So family, can you guys see? I believe you guys can all see that very thing on top of the zip of the shoe. It's got the pentagram on it. Can you see it properly? Let me just let him come back again and you will see the pentagram very well. You will see the pentagram very well. Let him walk in.
I think it's about time.
Good. Do you see the pentagram being used over there? Can you guys see that pentagram? The lace, on the lace, you see on the lace, there is pentagram used on the shoe. And this shoe, this guy has reviewed the shoe when it first came out. And when he reviewed the shoe, he has lost a lot of followers. He used to have a lot of following. Maybe I can let you see how many followers he had before and now. And you can see the views he has already, the followers he has already lost. He's lost heaps of followers. Why? Because he has reviewed this shoe, and the way he spoke about it, people even thought he was a Satanist, and so people don't want to associate themselves with Satanism, so they just unfollowed him. And now, watch what he's going to do. Removing demonic items from your house to set yourself free. Let us watch closely what this guy is going to do right now. But we just spoke about the pentagram, and I'm confirming to you that the zipper, the hook on top of that thing, you can see it in gold. It's got the pentagram. This is a demonic shoe, and according to this guy and according to Lil Nas, the musician that made this, he has been making a lot of demonic music, and then people are listening to them. That's another topic. Check what your children are listening to and what you listen to. That very same guy said that this shoe, the Nas himself has come up with the fact that there is a drop of blood in the sole. When you watch the sole of the shoe, you see a bit of red liquid. There's red liquid in there, and it says it's blood. These are the things we are buying with our own money from the shops. Watch this.
For you to check the date, it's April Fool's Day! Yo, straight off the bat, I just want to say thank you guys for all the support on the last video. You guys mean the world to me. And since I posted that, I've gotten so many messages saying, you know, how much I help you guys through depression, hard times, and so on. And it really means the world to me. I'm so glad that I can help you guys out by just making videos. It's so cool. But yeah, guys, I am not burning these shoes. I'm not destroying them because they're going for way too much. We all need to make a living here. Now, I still stand by this. I do not praise the devil or anything. That's not an April Fool's joke. Now, I've been actually like thinking big brain stuff. Like, what am I gonna...
Okay, so guys, do you see the sole? Look at the sole of the foot. You see there's red liquid there. It is actual liquid. And the owner says this has got blood in there. This was just to give you another rough idea of some of the items that the owners themselves have confirmed that they are demonic items and they are being sold in the shops for you. This was made, customized, made for certain people. People have bought them, but then look at what you are taking to your house. Okay, now let's go on to something else. Thank you, thank you, brother. We've seen what you've got for us, and we will take you to another place where you will see shops where things have been bought. Okay, things are being bought, and then some of the things that we are buying, they are things that are very demonic, and some of the signs and shapes that when you see, you have to be very careful, because the pentagram, look at this. I'll show you this thing really quickly. Look at that. Just have a look at something like this. You will understand that the pentagram has been used in various ways. You see, it's been used in various ways to promote Satan, and it is objects for people that are into Satanism, and that is what they want to do. You know what I mean? So we need to be very careful and strategic with our purchases, and be very mindful that, you see, all these things are for sale. People are buying a lot of pendants. Let me show you these pendants. You see these pendants and these products? They are all for sale, and they are made out of that dragon, guardian necklace, broomstick, all these items. Look at them. Some of them, the shapes look interesting, but they are not normal products for you to own. You get what I mean? Interesting shapes, but not normal products for you to own. Now look at this range of shirts that we have here. Okay, look at that. The priestess from the Celtic Tarot classic t-shirt. You see, the design in there is the problem. The people there are just models, it's not them. Okay, so you look at the name of the product. It's about the priestess. It's a demonic image that have been used to produce a t-shirt. You will see this and you might buy it. Okay, you might think, oh, I've seen a shirt, but you are buying something from the Celtic Tarot classic t-shirt, the high priestess. You are buying a demonic product. Okay, so we can see there are so many of them, so many of them that we cannot even show all. Many shapes. I will show you something else very soon before you go. Okay, look at this. It says Evil Eye Design T-shirt with Amida by Zah. Okay, this is an Evil Eye T-shirt. So you will see this T-shirt, someone is wearing it, and you will think you are buying just an ordinary item. No, it's not just an ordinary T-shirt. This is demonic. This is demonic. The owner has indicated that it is demonic, so you dare not waste your resources on this, because you bring it to your house and you should know what you are attracting to your house. And they have it in various forms. Okay, various forms, and you need to be wise. You need to be wise about some of these things. It is not the best, okay? That is why we have this verse. It says, the image of their God you are to burn in fire. You don't have to take them to your house, because they become objects. They become objects that they are able to, connect back into it in your house and in your place, that you should be very tactful about. Okay, now, so I believe that if you have something like this in your possession, you should be thinking about what to do with them. Be thinking about how you are going to be handling such items in your possession. Because if you are keeping them, then be mindful that you are not doing yourself any better. Brother Abed says, you are absolutely correct, brother. I have experienced this before. Whoa, that's right. It says, God bless you, brother. Evangelist says, great work. Brother Benjamin Siddiq says, thank you, sir. Brother Ben, thank you too. I really appreciate you, bro. We need to find a way to speak. I know it's been a while, but we have to still find a way to get back and then get into the flow. There are so many things. I'm going to show you one of the popular brands that will blow your mind. Okay, that will blow your mind. I tell you. Okay, it will blow your mind. Trust me. I want to share this with you, because these things are things that we need to be mindful of, because we've been all dealing with things, and we've been all talking about things, sharing prayers, praying together on so many topics. We share prayers, and then sometimes some of these things can be dealt with without prayer, without fasting. You can just remove something and everything is fine. Life is smooth again, back to normal. I'm going to blow your mind with this final one. And trust me, you are going to be amazed. You will be amazed about this very one. In the next second, I'll show you. So please, like sister is sharing her experience that she has experienced such a thing before. I want you to have it in mind that people are going through this. Somebody can give you a gift. It can be a cloth. It can be, it can be money. It can be a perfume. It can be anything. But when that thing gets into your house, life begins to be different. Everything about you changes. And if you are not careful and you are not sensitive to your spirit, man, you might think, oh, it's just normal. You are just not doing something right. Or you are just losing your job. The man that gave the testimony at the beginning of the program, he said that his finances was bad. Everything was not right. And then all of a sudden, when he managed to get rid of that from his house, what happened? Money came in. He got back his inheritance. Now this will blow your mind. I know it's going to be very, very controversial, but we have to do this to save someone's life. Share your thoughts. If you've known this already as a controversial thing, that's fine. This is it. Boom.
Founder Gianni Versace and his fascination with Greek mythology. So Versace grew up in a historically significant city in Greece where he was surrounded by ruins. Apparently he's going through one of the ruins, and on the floor he sees this amazing mosaic of Medusa, and this inspires him. Now, if you know your Greek mythology, you know that Medusa was a very beautiful woman that apparently really upset a...
Okay, so you know Medusa. Back in the days, there was a movie called The Head of Medusa. It was a demonic witchcraft sort of movie. You know what I mean? I watched it, The Head of Medusa. If you remember it, then it means, yeah, you've been around for a while. You know? If you've watched The Head of Medusa, then it means you've been around for a while. So this Medusa is a Greek mythology that, according to them, it's a human head that, according to the myth of the Greeks, I think they saw something and then the hair turned into snakes. And they believe that whoever saw that thing and looked at it also had turned into a similar thing. The head of Medusa is a witchcraft situation here we are dealing with. Now let's listen. Let's go straight into the... And this is what has been used to design the logo that you are wearing. Paying big money. And you think you are wearing a brand. Someone is not wearing that brand, so you even look down upon that person. Look at what you are wearing and you are proud.
God, and she basically turned Medusa into this monster with the snake for hairs. Basically, upon Medusa gazing on you, and if you locked eyes, all of a sudden you were turned to stone. So why would Versace use a Greek monster in his logo? Because he wanted to create clothing that whenever you saw it, you would stop in your tracks. You would freeze because the clothing is so amazing. Not that it's going to turn you to stone, but you aren't going to be able to look away. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love this one. I love the history. I love the story behind it.
Okay, so you see, that is about Versace.
As we're making our way through all these logos,
okay,
let me know.
That is about Versace. So Versace has used this. Okay, and there is more. We can talk about a lot of other things, but we will leave it here and deal with Versace in this situation. So Versace has used this Greek demon in the Versace logo. And when you are buying Versace products, you are so excited because you are wearing a brand. Someone is not wearing a brand, you look down upon the person, but that thing is doing something to you. We are not looking at just Versace. There are so many of them that maybe we have to come up with them, and you will see that same design in different clothes. Sometimes it's just a small logo somewhere at the back, on the corner, and then we buy them. We are so proud of having them. But these are the things that are causing dangerous, terrible problems for both of us. We need to be very sensitive and remember that as Christians, we should not just follow fashion, not just follow anything, because there are some things that we are following, we are buying, and those things are the cause of our problems, cause of our childlessness, cause of our unnecessary prayer topics, cause of our situations that we are dealing with, cause of all the terrible things we are going through. Sometimes many people will not let us know some of these things, but there are a lot of things we need to all understand. Okay? People, let us be sensitive. If we are Christians, we should understand that things about Christ are the things we should promote. We watch movies, and we watch movies that are demonic movies. Written by demonic people, casted by demonic people, acted by demonic people, and the content is also demonic. You watch it and you are scared, yet you are happy to watch it. You listen to people insulting people that are possessed. They come online, they insult people, and that is what we enjoy watching. But then when we are doing good things, like Brother Ben Siddiq, he does a lot of wonderful programs. People don't even want to watch it. We are doing wonderful programs here. People don't want to watch it. Brother Michael is doing great programs in Adelaide. People don't want to watch it. You want us to insult people so that you will watch it. Those are demonic things, and they contaminate you, and they don't help you. God bless you so much today. We are blessing everyone that is watching on all the other links. Please, I encourage and I plead with you to share the link. Please share the link with everyone, so that people can know some of these things and be more aware that when they are buying, they will buy with a sense of purpose. They will buy with a sense of reason. There are so many of these other items in our possession. So many of them. Some of them, it was just shoes you took. I know someone that took another person's wedding ring. I know her. This one, I saw it. She put on the wedding ring on her. She was trying a friend's wedding ring, and it didn't come off again. It didn't want to come off. They nearly chopped off the finger. They had to perform some rituals before they could take the ring off. So if this was a gift for you, you should know what would have happened to you. Let us be careful the things we take into our homes. Let us be careful the people we bring into our home. Let us be careful. We spoke about the people we associate with. Now let us be mindful of the things we are carrying into our houses, into our lives, what we are eating. Sometimes you eat something and you get a link between yourself and an altar, a demonic altar. Let's be careful. Bible has said it, we've read it. Remember that somebody can put something of yours. They steal your shirt and put it on a demonic altar and curse you, and it gets you. So if they bring something to you and put it in your house too, that will be a point of contact. It's like a signal, a receiver and a transmitter. One in your house, one at their place. They get into your house easily. Let us be mindful of the things that we do, because demons are around. They are doing things just as God's power is working. God bless you so much as you've tuned in today on Coda TV. We appreciate you, and we don't take you for granted. God richly bless you. See you on Wednesday on Family Arena, and on Thursday on War Zone with Evangelist Justice Asari. It's going to be amazing. God bless us all.